Hello, this is Valerie from Call of the Heart. Thanks for joining me. Today I am excited. I mentioned, I believe it was at the end of my last video that I had more things to share about my chickens. I absolutely love the Mabel chicken pattern by Oak and Marlowe, the first pattern that I actually physically bought. And it's one that I will make over and over again because they do keep selling. And I don't just have like 5 or 6 chickens at any given time. I tend to have 50 or more chickens at all times. And then when I get low, then I'm bummed because I don't like to be lower than 20. And even that's kind of low for me. I don't sell 20 at one event typically, but I like to have a chicken for everyone. When I started, I'm just obsessed with the chickens. I can't stress that enough. I just think it's a cute pattern. It's an easy pattern. Everybody knows the pattern. Depending on where you're at, whether it will be a good sell or not. I just have so much fun making the different colors and playing around with their combs and their faces. And I even have different sizes, which you will eventually see. But today I'm just doing the Mabel chicken size, although in the back corner of my video you probably see the big one, which I will talk about at a later video. But I wanted to share some interesting, unique chicken makes that I made probably, let's say a couple weeks ago, I would say. I was not sure what I wanted to do. And we all know that if you're a crafter, you get scraps of things and you don't want to get rid of anything. And you think, I'll save those scraps for later. Well, I had a huge amount of scraps, like a bucket full of scraps. And I don't even know if they were worth saving, but I'm going to argue that yes, they were worth saving because I'm going to show you today what I did with them. So I mentioned to my brother-in-law that I wanted to do a bunch of scrappy chickens and see how many I could make with what scrappy yarn I had. So the next day, I did just that. I spent the day on the couch with all of my scraps and I made these, in my opinion, pretty awesome scrappy chickens. So before I show you those, though, I'm just going to show you a couple of my favorites of the Mabel chicken, of the traditional colors that do sell. This is actually one of my favorites, the ivory tweed. And a lot of people, I've already mentioned this before, but a lot of people like the white more than you would think. Like the white. I tended to not like the white because I don't like things dirty, and white would get dirty. But this is your natural chicken color, and a lot of people do like the white. They're drawn to the white. So there's the white. Pretty much normal chickens, but then I throw in, I saw someone calls this their sprinkle chicken, and I had to try it because I had the yarn, and I also did the blue comb instead of the regular red comb. So I've got this one. We'll see how it does. If anybody wants that kind of a chicken. And then I just try some other variegateds that are not your normal variegated for a chicken anyways. They're nice variegateds, but most people wouldn't think, oh, that would make a good chicken. So last video I had said, oh wait, I have one more thing I want to show, but I didn't have everything together to show it, so I would save it for this video. So one of the things that I have been doing with my chickens that has been a really big hit, and I've been doing it for a couple years now, is the nest sets. So I just freehanded the nest, and then the eggs change every time I do them. I do them differently. So just a very simple egg, but I never seem to have the same amount of stitches each time. So these ones have brown, and I make the eggs to sit nicely in there. And it just makes a really nice interactive thing for kids. I put them all together and sell them for $20, and they were a really big seller the first summer that I did them. The next year I did them, most people had them, so it didn't sell as many. But still a good seller, and still something that I like to have all the time because it makes a good gift. I've had people buying as baby shower gifts, or just for their kids. Again, because that interactive play. The chicken just comes right out, and you've got the eggs to play with as well. So I'll show you a couple of those. So right now I only have 4. I had made 4 um, 4 nests and quite a few eggs in my first month of crochet since Christmas. So I've got this one with the white eggs. And a lot of people like the blue eggs, so I do the blue eggs as well. And I usually pair it with this one with the typewriter chicken. So there's one more I'll show you. And then there's this one. And this one I went a little crazy. As you can see, all my nests are different sizes. I went a little big on that, so I would definitely put a bigger chicken in that one. And then I let them mix and match the chicken. I let them match the eggs. So sometimes people want to do one of each color egg. Sometimes they all stick with the same color. So this is just something fun I found, and it keeps making the Mabel chickens, which makes me happy because I love the Mabel chickens, which by now, even though this is only my 3rd video, you already know. So back to my challenge to myself was to get rid of some of that scrappy yarn. I didn't get rid of, I have scrappy yarn all over the place, but I had one spot that had been building and building and building. And it was a good sized bucket full of scrappy yarn. If I'd have realized I was going to start doing YouTube videos, I would have taken a photo of the yarn and then showed what I'm going to show now. But I don't have the image of what it looked like before they were made into something. But here are my scrappy chickens, and I'm going to show them one by one and tell you what I like about them and just tell you what I did. So like I said, I had a bucket full of scrappy yarn, and I got, let me just count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I believe I got 14 chickens, scrappy chickens, out of my scrap yarn. You'll see a few more that I'm going to show you because I liked some so much that I kept going. So, no particular order. Here is my first scrappy chicken. So it's just got different textures of yarn, and some is Bernat, some is Big Twist, some is sparkly, and some is variegated. And I just have just a fun time making them. So there's number 1, the bottom there, my first one. I'll just have a nice scrappy section over here. I did one where I just did all like pinks and purples, and I have stuffing falling out. So pinks and purples. On the bottom, I tried to just take a bigger piece and have it because nobody's really going to pull up the bottom, but I wanted it to have that contrast. So there's the second one. Now this one is very interesting. I don't know if my camera is going to pick up the sparkle, but this one I used some of the sparkle Bernat yarn, and in person you can actually see just parts of the chicken sparkling. So this is kind of bright and sparkly. Number 3. My chicken army is growing, my colorful chicken army. And then this one is blues. Blues in a slight green and gray. Just love his little face. Super soft. And again, just fun to use the different colors. Here's a couple, or here, this is all sparkle. Besides the comb is all sparkle. So this is just the Bernat Sparkle, Baby Blanket Sparkle. So this is a very bright one. That makes 5. I try to do some kind of neutral and some girly and some more blues and reds and yellows, like this one here. And again, there was no rhyme or reason. I pretty much just used the scrap up. That's why you'll see a big amount of blue in the middle, and then smaller amounts all around. Hope I'm not making you dizzy with the way I keep turning the chickens. That is number 6. And number 7, pinks and grays. Number 8. Number 9. Again, I love the pinks in this one, and I decided to do the pink comb just for something different. And I've got a bit of the sparkle here and here. And I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the number 9. And 10. Burgundies and mauves and pink, kind of. 10. and 11. And I had fun with these two of the towards the end. 12 and 13 both are green. And I just really like how that turned out with the greens. I'm sorry about that. You all know there's always lots of stuffing. Even when you try to get it all off, it's still always, always, always there. So we've got 2 green ones. And we can go back to this one. That was, I lost count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't think that's right. All right, we're going to count it again at the end. I'm not going to worry about it right now because I lost my train of thought. So when I was doing, what was the one I was going to show you? This one here. So as the maple chicken starts at the bottom, what I found the easiest way to do the Scrappy chicken, because I've done several different types of things with scraps, and I just love the look of it. I've seen people do Scrappy snakes. I did the Scrappy elephant with the Samba elephant that I had showed in the first video. So what I do is I just tie, I add it in like a color change when it gets to the end, and I just go all the way around the chicken and just keep doing that. And then at the end, I turn the chicken inside out and I tie in a knot where the color change had happened. I personally found that was the best way to do it, rather than trying to keep track of what did I tie, what didn't I tie. I just didn't tie anything until I was all done. Then I would stuff it up. Then I would fill it with stuffing and then close it up. And then I later did, the next day, I think I did the eyes and the beak and the comb to go with it. So probably now not the most colorful, but I would say one of my favorite ones that I had done in the whole thing was this one. I love how it's got the black and the white and the grays. So I liked this one so very much that later that week I actually made a few more of that same black style, but different, all unique. These ones have the white eyes. And again, I'm just going to count here in a minute because I cannot count and talk and keep track. I know that all together with the ones I showed you that were just the normal ones, and then these ones, it should be 41 chickens that I've made since Christmas of this size. Okay, let's go ahead and count real quick here. So I'll count the black ones first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, I'm going to show you my Scrappy chickens. And there you have 18 Scrappy chickens. 1 bucket of crazy yarn made 18 chickens that I now can sell at a market. I have no idea how much they're going to be liked, but I know I like them. I don't think I mentioned this already, but for me personally, I always sell my Mabel chickens for $10. Now, I know that is a steal of a price. I know that most people, as I'm watching on YouTube, sell them for $12 to $15, and they sell them for $12 and $15, and they still are flying. But it being my first pattern, and I enjoyed it so much, and we all know it's not a hard make. It doesn't take a lot of stuffing. It doesn't take a lot of time. And once you got the pattern down, It's not too bad. It's a lot of fun, and I really, really enjoy it. So I just decided that I was going to sell them for 10. I know that I'm underselling myself, but if that means more people are going to get a chicken, then I want to sell them for $10. I would like everybody who wants chicken, and in our area, everybody wants the chickens because we are a rural area, as I mentioned before, and so everybody loves the chickens. And everybody around here has their own chickens, and so they like picking one that either reminds them of their chicken or they just like the colorful ones. So this is more of a labor of love. It's something I enjoy. It's something I want to always keep doing. I won't get sick of doing it. So I just charge $10. I'm hoping that the Scrappy chickens will sell as well for $10. If they don't, then I'll figure something out from there. But I'm really hoping, because I enjoyed every minute of making the Scrappy chickens and how each one is so unique, that I'm really, really hoping that people will love them as much as I do. So if you want to try something new or are looking for a new idea for your Scrappy critters, or Scrappy plushies, just to get rid of those scraps, maybe you want to try some chickens. Be happy to hear if anybody wants to share what other kind of Scrappy animals they have made or other ideas for their scraps. And if you're not one that's done anything with your scraps, maybe this will encourage you to think about that. Again, it was just a lot of fun, and I love the color changes, and I love the crazy brightness of it all. So you're going to hear me over and over again. Mabel Chicken, Oak and Marlowe. For me, it sells really well. It's always sold really well. I really love making it, so I price it to sell it so that I can keep making them, so that I can keep me smiling and I can have lots of fun. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed looking at all the Mabel chickens that I've done. Again, 41 chickens since Christmas and counting. And hope to see you next time. Happy crocheting and be blessed.